Okay.
Hello, is this thing on? Bop, 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 boop, boop.
You think you're cute, huh? You think you're so cute, huh?
Beep up. All right, we're back with episode 7.
Motherfuckers.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my God, right out the gate with
Right
the
out
cuss
gate. No,
words.
this time we're doing flagrant. This is flagrant shit.
I don't. What does flagrant mean? What kind of SAT vocabulary are you using today?
Foul.
Foul.
Bad. We're bad boys.
I want to use proper.
You proper channel. How about this? I go like fucking foul, and then you proper.
Hello.
What up, bitch?
Okay.
Yeah, this.
This is a lot of energy. Just kidding. Be authentic. Be your authentic self.
Dude, this is who I am, man. I finally decided to come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I drink a can of Monster, and now I'm just going. I'm like a train going in a tunnel.
One can of Monster. You're talking to Ebonics now. Anyways. All right, we're back.
Is that what it is? That's
what
how I
it sounds
speak
like.
at home. I don't know what you're talking about, G.
Oh.
But that's just how I speak at home, man.
That's actually true. He actually does speak like this a lot.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So, well, I came out
As
as a
serious professional. And that's what the topic is today.
dude, this is so bad. Fuck.
Yeah, maybe we should redo this. Yeah, that was so bad. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we can
Three.
cut that whole part.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut the whole part. Let's do a clap.
Action. All right, guys, welcome back to episode 7. We back. Yeah. You know what's funny is like me and Ming were talking today. Ming was kind of gassing me up. He was like, "Yeah, like you've improved so much in front of the camera talking." And I think honestly for us, this whole podcast has been kind of a fun experiment, also kind of a practice for us to speak.
Yeah, it's an exercise, and I think it's good. Good for yourself. Good for communication. Good for your soul, and good for everything. You know, now I used to get very nervous when I like meet people, but now I can just rambling, and then
Almost too much.
yeah, almost too much. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just keep going, and then that's the whole key of this game, right? It's the improvisation. Like if you can keep going, then that is the key. And then how long you can keep going, how fast you can keep going,
True.
how strong you can keep going.
True.
And those are the questions for you to answer. Like if you haven't done this,
No question.
I think you should. Yeah, you should definitely try it at home. Like just go, set up a camera, do it.
And speak.
Say some racial slurs, drop some M-bombs, do what you gotta do, get yourself canceled, all this stuff. It's good.
Test out the waters.
Test out the water. We live in 2023. You have to do it.
I don't endorse this.
No?
I don't know if I endorse that.
Dude, no, you should try. Okay, try what I did.
Just flow it off
Just
the
flow
top
off
of your head.
Yeah, top of your head. Go.
I mean, we've been, the past few weeks, we've been going to improv class, free improv class. We've just been practicing going off the top of the dome.
Yeah, don't have money for an actual class. So it'll be free loading. Just taking advantage of people. I love it. Austin, Texas. Give it up.
Yeah, we've been trying to, in general, take advantage of, like, the resources that are going on. Because, I don't know, we realize, like, honestly, we live in, like, one of the biggest, like, capitals in the world, especially when it comes to comedy, like, music. And so there's so much, like, there's so many resources and things, and just, like, events going on that are open and free to the public that you can actually take advantage of and actually, I don't know, learn from.
Yeah, I'm taking lessons. There's so many things going on. We can swim for free. You can go to classes for free. You can talk to people for free. You can walk around for free.
It's kind of been an exercise, honestly. We've just been trying to see, like, how much we can actually do.
Yeah.
On a budget, basically.
Or no budget.
On no budget. But
Hey, Michelle, can I ask you to do a big favor for me?
bring the mic closer to my face.
Thank you very much.
He knows. I kept seeing him glance over to the audio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
I bet they can hear me.
I bet they can.
Anyways.
They're not deaf.
All right.
Obviously.
I I don't know if we're proving the fact that we're getting better or not right now.
Dude, we are doing good. We are doing fantastic. We're doing amazing.
Yeah, it's funny because in the car, Ming was like, "Oh, what do you want to talk about today?" And I was like, "Oh, we'll just freestyle it." Because I used to in the beginning get super nervous. I'd be like, "Okay, what we're gonna talk about? Like, okay, let's go buy some fruit to, so we can have like an activity going on, like blah 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 blah."
That was an epic episode.
That was an epic episode. That was episode 2, and it was fun to do. Definitely, I think we were like trying harder in production, but we just kind of, for us, this podcast is more like a side thing. For me, it's a side thing.
For me, it's a main thing, man. This is what I want to do.
It's a side thing, but it's just been fun.
No, it's fun. I love it.
To develop.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking actually, like, I feel like we need to have more guests on, because that the big thing is for podcasts is collaborations. Mm-hmm. But we're still in like the dog days. We need to
dog days phase.
Yeah, we need to like get our skills up, before we going out there and then meet some other players.
Yeah.
Bring some players in the game.
We have a lot of people in our circle in general that could definitely come on. And you guys have, if you've been watching, you've met Evan and Danae. Yeah. And they've been great guests. But yeah, it almost feels like it's kind of hard for me to want to put on guests because we're still figuring out our own what are we doing? Like, what do we want to talk about? Like, even now we haven't really talked about anything, but we have been talking about something.
Dude, that's the great thing about this. Mm-hmm. Is I said a lot of stuff, but you don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about, which is great. Mm-hmm. So as long as the game I'm playing today is to see how much I can say and not say anything. That's my goal for my podcast today.
I don't know if that's a really fun conversation to have, but to be honest.
Really? You know, I think it's good?
I mean, we've been talking. Honestly, I just want to talk about like what we've been going through lately.
All right, bring it on, man. Fire those questions. Bring those bad boys out.
There's no questions, honestly.
Let the dogs out, yeah.
Me and Ming been going through it, but not in a bad way. It's just like I feel like I've just come to more realizations this past week. I've been dealing with like lack of motivation, and like me and Ming almost folded. Yeah. Like last week, we both on separate occasions without each other, like admitted to each other we looked up like other jobs online, like applying for other jobs, and it's funny because I'm like, dang, for other people like getting a real job or not, this is a real job too, but just getting like a set job, I guess, is a good thing, but for us that's like folding. It's kind of like we're giving up, though it's like kind of the easy way out in the sense of that, like, I don't know, we have our own dreams and like we're trying to make this business happen. I just what is it called? We just announced that I started a band with my best friends, Sparkling Light Drive. If anybody wants to check it out.
Good music, good people.
Yeah, good music, good people. And so we have a lot of things like up and coming and things like that are happening. But sometimes it feels like in this lifestyle when you're just like trying to create, or we're also in the beginning period of our photography and like studio business, and it's like we had to go out there and like chase, and it's almost like we're hunting kind of, but like,
yeah, we're hunters.
We're kind of in hunting mode, we're like gathering right now, hunter and gathering right now.
Yeah. No, we're not even gathering, we're just hunting.
Yeah, we're literally just hunting.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, we gathered some free furniture for the studio. But no, yeah, we're just like hunting right now for more leads, more bookings, and it's been good, but also
okay, let's put it in the context, right? So our business is dry. Let's be honest.
We are dry.
We are dry
right
AF.
Now.
Let's just not front. Let's just be honest with people that we haven't gotten
as many
bookings, still consistent, but slow. I would say like 1 or 2 a week, but that's not enough to feed us. That's not enough to eat.
Maybe if it was like one person, even then it would be like one person that's like struggling on the low.
Like if I wanted some Texas barbecue, I can't.
Yeah, only Mediterranean buffet for us. Shout out Demasi's.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been drier, and I think when you're not working in a regular 9 to 5 and you're like trying to build your own business and things like that, like there's definitely times like load periods where you're just like, damn.
Yeah, I don't know what's the right thing to do because from what I heard, most people kind of like a business, you kind of almost have to you quit. They quit their jobs and then just start doing this, and then they went through the same phase. Or some people that like do this shit on their side, and then they have a main thing, and then that could work too. So I don't know if there's like a right answer, and then how much time you willing to devote, or how much you hate your main thing, you know. But everybody is going through this. Where how old you are, how young you are, how old, how
experience or inexperience.
Yeah.
There's like just different journeys. And I think it's just interesting in terms of starting your own business, and especially just being in like the creative realm. Like everybody has there's so many different paths to success, right? Whatever success means to you. But let's say success is like stable income and things like that. Whether you're a painter, whether you're a singer or a photographer or whatever, TikToker, you know, there's so many ways of success. Some people on TikTok are like grinding, posting every single day, and sometimes some people just post like 2 videos and they go viral, and then after that it's just there's so many different paths, so it's like hard to know like, oh, is this the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Is this the right next move? You know.
What do you think? What do you prefer? Like, do you prefer consistency or do you prefer quality?
What is that?
Quantity or quality? Because there are people, their strategy is of as a content creator, they
both probably. I
that's
mean,
hard
ideally,
to do,
in an ideal world, you're putting quantity and quality, right? I mean, you see the top dogs. At the end of the day, yeah, there are people that blow up and go viral, and they might accumulate a bunch of followers. But me and Ming were talking about today. Followers are also different than fans. Followers, like, you can find somebody funny, and then you just follow them because you on the off chance might want to just see them do something funny again in the future. But a fan is someone who really connects. It's like the trust that you build with your audience, you know, the real connection. Like a lot of like those old YouTubers that are still popular now.
Yeah, well, those are dying out. It's a new age now. You've heard about this? Because right now, what I've heard is the algorithm is changing. So back in the day, like you see PewDiePie and those motherfuckers is like personal, individual content creators, right? And then I think in the back end of those of like YouTube or TikTok, I think right now what they're trying to do is basically promote the content instead of the creators, you know? Because there's a risk of promoting the creators instead of the content. Is once the creators get big enough, they're basically can say, oh, I'm actually want to retire, right? And I want to stop making videos. But that's going to affect a lot on those companies that signed with them. So that will basically stop making them from making money. So now the algorithm has changed. I think everybody, if you are watching any stuff, and you can kind of tell that like now the production of content has gotten so much better. But
like everyone is like their own studio now.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's the change of sphere, right? Now it's like people are investing in the content and like the production value. So instead of just one person in front of like a shitty camera and just talk, right? And then there's
two.
Which what we're doing with 2 of us right now, right? And then who's benefiting now? It has shifting. So the people that like the thing that are benefiting from this change is the production companies. You know, the people that are actually just making the using cameras and the lights and editing, but then not focus on like the individuals anymore. So then that's the change of YouTube, all this stuff. So like as I said before in the last podcast, I believe what YouTube is going to change, or all those major platforms is going to become is like the TV and the cables, you know. So basically every channel now is going to be like a channel, obviously.
Yeah, there's a channel.
Yeah, they're gonna have like a schedule shows, and then schedule programs, and then I guarantee you it's gonna be more and more.
I mean, do they already have lives and stuff on YouTube?
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
that's
it's
what
pretty much
people are
already-
doing, you know.
It's pretty much already a TV.
Exactly. And then like as you see like all the streaming platforms now, there's so many streaming platforms, right? And it's like what might as well just be TV channels, but now just online. You know, like, and then you can click and choose what you want to watch. But yeah, it's like a circle back, and then now the traditional media are back, you know, and then all the YouTube and TikTok, they're calling for that, you know. So, well, that's great news for us, because if they're promoting content, we're just starting off. Like, if we have good content, that means
I feel like we need to turn up mine a little bit. Turn up my volume a little bit.
This one.
Yeah. Okay.
Try it again.
Hello. Yeah, sorry. Ming's bars are huge, but also I just been saying for like the last like 5 minutes.
No, that's good. Well,
That's
speaking of production value, this is great too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need like, I don't know. I think our production is fine.
It's fine because I think for the goal, like for what we're actually using it for and the goal, you know, at the end of the day, we have, I guess, main projects and main endeavors that we're focusing on. I mean, this for us too, podcast is still a really valuable platform to be on, and it's a way for us to actually like develop our speaking skills, but also if people watch us, they also get to know us as well, and vice versa. But it's just but yeah, I mean, I think our production value is fine for what we're actually aiming for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I'm not stressing about it, but
Yeah.
I do want to say I want to invest in more gears, and that's the problem that I've been having. Is like,
but like, what's the point of investing in gear if you don't have that many bookings to use them for?
That's true. Yeah, I can give you that.
It's hard. It's like sometimes I wonder, because I'm like, okay, what if we have this thing and this thing, and then like, will that help us? But then it's like, in what order do you do stuff? Like, because some people like go in top down, they get all the best shit and that like best gear, best stuff, and then they're able to start at a higher and like
that's what
charge
I'm saying.
higher, I guess. But then, I don't know. Or then there's other people who I've seen like come up. They start with like nothing, but they're just really talented. And it's also their connections. It's just interesting. I just feel like I just been spending a lot of time thinking about just like this lifestyle, just like what I want for my life. I don't know.
What do you want for your life, bro? What do you? Just say my money is not an option, right?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what I would love for my life is I would love to create and be able to make money from it. Specifically, create with like the people I love. Like Ming's one of my best friends. The band is also a group of my best friends, and just like working with people that I actually feel inspired by, and I inspire them as well, and that we're all working together. The community thing, create a community and come up, and then like my personal life, like eventually I want to have a family and things like that. But I mean, that's not really related, I guess. But it is related though too, because I've always dreamed. I've never wanted to work. The reason why I always wanted to start my own business and also live kind of in this way is because I have always wanted freedom of time. That is like, at the end of the day, like money is the currency of our material world, and I mean, I guess time is also a product of this like world that we live in too. But at the end of the day, like as much money as you have, you can't trade it for time. So unless I guess you do some bioengineering. Clone myself. I would transfer my consciousness into another body. No.
Okay, let's say that if you made a clone of yourself, right? But you can't feel them. So
that's what I'm saying. If there's a way to suck my consciousness out and put it into another body, that'd be so freaky.
So you would live.
If I was like a man, if I like put it into like a man.
But okay, let's just see.
Put it into Shaquille O'Neal. I'm like, Honestly, if I was the size of Shaq, I don't think the world would be able could contain me. I feel like I have the biggest ego. I'd be like, oh, fee fi fo fum.
Dude, if I had a vagina, bro, I'll sell it. I'll become a prostitute.
Bro, I do not like this podcast. I don't want to release this.
No, it's not good.
No.
Why not? What's wrong?
Maybe I'm too afraid.
What,
I don't
you
like this content. Wait, we're like,
you was scared, bro. You was scared of the power. Who's watching, bro?
no one's watching. But I'm just saying.
Mhm.
I don't feel like it's authentic to me either.
Okay, then go for the direction you want.
I feel like I was.
Put it back. Put it back.
Nah, I feel like derailed right now. I'm honestly on some beta shit. I think this.
You need to come out of it. How you gotta change the direction.
Yeah. Honestly, I just been on some beta shit, and I just feel like I want to do stuff that actually like makes us grow. I mean, I don't know. I want to do stuff that actually makes us grow. I mean, I do like getting used to the camera and talking, but at the same time, like, anybody can talk fuck shit all the time.
Then how would you talk?
I like to talk fuck shit too sometimes, but it's like I don't have to record it. I don't have to go through the effort of recording it, I guess. But I don't know. It just I want to just like. Part of me is like I want to do stuff like I think you were saying like you where I feel like you're in a stage of your life where a lot of people are helping you because like of your situation and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I want to be more useful and like doing stuff and like actually adding value. I mean, I guess this could add value. It's like part of me is like, yeah, I guess it could add value because sometimes people just want to like laugh and fuck around. Which is like how I feel whenever we do improv. It's just weird. This time of our life is just like weird. It's like we want to be professional. Do our own thing.
Then then what is professional? Like what are we talking about here? You know? Like what else other than the business stuff that we been talking about can we talk about? Because we only know so much. I was done. I ran out of stuff to say. So,
he's like, let me pull out every theoretical, hypothetical situation.
I give it all with the algorithm.
that was the improv. he was like, oh yeah, the test today is improv. See how much I can go, how fast I can go. That was it. Yeah.
But then then you have to add information. You know. There was a point like because you weren't adding information, and I had to go, and I went that direction.
Yeah. Maybe I feel uncomfortable. I don't know why though. Maybe because the camera's watching.
Well, I can cut it, you know.
I'm being perceived.
Yeah, I can cut it, dude.
No, I know. I'm just like talking to you right now, honestly. It's just interesting because I'm like, yeah, I guess it's kind of crazy because part of me is scared in the sense like I want all of our stuff to pop off. Like it's like in general I am sensitive to stuff to like, but I can definitely talk fuck shit, I guess. And then I just feel like I'm at a stage where I'm like I really want all of our stuff to work out. I really want the band to work out. I don't feel fucking emotional right now. I just really want the band to work out. Like I want like all of us to come up. And like part of me feels like I don't want to do anything or say anything that like could jeopardize any one of us. Because it's like part of that community thing is we're all like coming up together.
Yeah.
And I know like and it's like I don't want to like make anybody be like, I want you to be authentic to yourself, obviously, and I do too. And I don't know. It's just like I don't know. It's just like weird.
What if it's the fuck shit that will make you pop off? What if it's the authentic your view of who you are, who your unlimited knowledge will make you
Maybe.
stand out. Because the thing, this literally, let's bring back to that little person and then midget talk, right?
Yeah.
Like, we don't know what's offensive.
Yeah,
Like,
genuinely, I don't
genuinely,
know.
I don't know what. Like,
Yeah.
is midget okay? Is dwarf okay? Is a little people okay?
Yeah.
You know, but like those things actually is like something that we don't know, but we are so afraid.
Well, because I genuinely don't want to offend anybody or like.
Yeah, that's true,
anybody's
right?
feelings. And then part of me feels like, oh, maybe we all have access to internet and resources. Like we should all like. I'm part of me's like, oh, I feel like I should know that, and like, especially me because that was like my work. I am a special education. I used to be a special education teacher, which is why I actually like am sensitive about that type of thing and like certain language and stuff. But
then okay, let's just say, I'm cutting all this, but I'm just saying, like let's just say if I'm Asian, right? And then you were like a white person and you talking to me, and then the whole time you trying to avoiding offending me by not acknowledging I am Asian. I feel that's like worse than calling me Asian than like poking around, you know?
Have you ever been canceled before by people?
Yeah, dude. I got that, like when I had the UTLA internship, but people hated me. Remember I told you the story? So when I was doing an internship in UTLA, which is like a Los Angeles program, right? And then it was during COVID, so everybody moved online, and then we'll have meetings. And then one of my professors, they were talking about a project, which basically is we are producers. Every student's a producers, and then we're presented with the script that has a insensitive racist joke in there, right? And then she's basically telling us how would we as producers tell the writer that his jokes are not okay, and then how do we fix it? And then there's this girl, and then she just straight up and then said like, oh, wait, they cancel this motherfucker, and then like it just completely threw off the project is off, right? And then the professor was trying to tell her like, oh no, this like your job as producers trying to mitigate this is how do you communicate with the writer, and then because everything is already right off, like it's in the motion, right? Everything's paid for, and then you have this writer, you can't just like kick him out. You have to just finish the job, right? And then she was saying like, oh no, he needs to be canceled, that shit's not okay, and then he needs to be fired. And then like the professor just like, that's you like misunderstand what the assignment is, right? And then she kind of just so angry, she's just so like offended for some reason, like she's not even, the joke is Asian joke, and then she's like bringing her Asian boyfriend up for some reason, and she's like, oh yeah, that's and then our professor's literally like 80-year-old, right? Yeah. And then I jumped off. I was like, I kind of defended her, and then I said like, no, our job is basically trying to make everybody happy, because your producer is your assignment's literally bringing people together, and then how do you move on from that, right? That's why you're the one that keep it rolling no matter what, right? And then if you fire the writer, then who the fuck is gonna write the script, you know? And then they're just so offended, and then they were like they're starting trying to cancel the professor. And then the professor got defensive, and then she was like, oh yeah, you know, like I'm a Jewish woman, I was like the only one. I was like, bro, what is this is so pathetic, you know? Like what age are we in that we are spending so much effort in like who we care, like who will we think is gonna offend or not? Like I wasn't even offended. That joke it's not funny, it's not a funny joke, but I wasn't offended, and I'm like the direct like the direct target, right? And then, but like those people are offended on behalf of me, which is like, what the fuck, you know? Like I have I can form my own opinion. What should be offend or should not be offend, you know? then why are these people speaking on my behalf? So I was just like, oh man, this is fucked. And then I don't like this culture. I don't like how you think people are like thinking for me, you know? Like I'm more than capable of thinking for myself, you know, how I feel about my community and my race, you know, my culture. So I was like, I'm not gonna, so I was, but then because I defended the professor, and then they're
try to cancel you,
dude,
kick him out of this class,
dude. Then when Rachel went over there, and then they met some people from my class, and then they think, oh, you a friend of Ming? Isn't he like a racist guy? Then Rachel told me, I was like, oh my fucking god, dude. And then that's like the people that they're running, you know, they're running Hollywood.
I don't know, it's interesting because like I've never was like for cancel culture anyways, because part of me feels like too, it's like, I don't know, okay, yes, I don't know, yes, there is right and wrong, but there's also I don't believe that everything's just black and white, you know? And
there's a lot of gray area.
There's a lot of gray area.
You don't know how an actual person actually feel, right? Because a lot of those people that we're talking about cancel culture is almost like you speaking on a broader term. They almost like a generalization of a community.
And not everybody in the community feels that way.
On an individual level, man, I'm just saying, like, people are not as sensitive as people claim to be. Until we speak to them personally, then we should not make those judgments by what we think other people are scared of, you know?
Just interesting, you know, because circling back to like business and stuff, because it's always like, oh, like networking and talking to people on all that stuff, and then like you know, even when I was doing my marketing job before, it's like you gotta learn like the right way to talk to people and stuff like that, which is, I don't know, I guess that's why like I do respect people like Joe Rogan and people like that, because they're just able to like fully be themselves. And of course there was a moment where he like kind of got canceled, but it was like it was like brought up past times when things were different, you know. Things are always things are always changing. They're like the group opinions about certain things, certain behavior, certain words, all that like change like every
that's the thing
all
is
the time.
If you were recorded, right, like all your life, like the shit I said when I was fucking 6th grade, oh my god, dude, I'll more than just canceled, you know. I'll be lynched. But that's the thing about people like that is Joe Rogan, you know, whatnot, like genuine, because they're genuinely asking questions. They're curious and they actually care about what's on the other side of the table, right? Instead of like, because the reason why we're scared of asking those questions, to be genuine, is we have an agenda. Let's be straightforward, because we have the agenda to don't want to offend them, because we wanted to get something out of them, right? But let's just say, like, if you are genuinely curious about something, you know,
there is no agenda except for to find the answer to
like, because you curious. Like, I want to ask a gay person why he's gay, you know, because I don't know, I've never been into that shoes, you know. I want to know why, how, you know. And then, but to them it's like an actual question. That's not any agenda behind it. Instead of like, oh, not asking the question, you will never find out. You know.
And then I guess some people in the cancel culture would be like, why would you even ask that?
It's just like, oh yeah, it's just that way. Well, I don't fucking know. I'm not gay. How would I know? You know, it's like if I came here, right? Obviously, I'm not.
He's from China.
Yeah, I'm Chinese. So like, I have a question about what American culture is. You know, I came here like, oh, what do you eat? You know, like what do you do on the weekend? You know, and it's very different. Like new places you go, it's like everywhere people have different culture and then a different way they spend their time. And so it's like genuine questions. You're curious about how they live their life. You know, and then those questions, I think it should be okay to ask, no matter what, as long as you have a genuosity.
A genuine curiosity.
Genuosity.
Genuosity. This man be making up words all the time. Yeah, and one thing is interesting is like because I used to live in Spain and like I had roommates from different places, and it's so funny because I remember like when I had my roommate from Serbia who was like just saying like he would just like be saying shit and like you'd be like damn, like in my mind I was like damn, if this guy lived in like in the US that he would have been canceled so quick already, you know, just because like but then it's just so interesting because just different parts of the world and then just different like cultures or just like circumstances like
Dude, no, that's the thing.
Environments.
That's why cancel culture don't work outside of US, you know, because we live in a fucking bubble.
Yeah,
Like this is not a reality. Like in the actual real world, everybody is racist, everybody is insensitive, everybody is caught up because
everyone is looking at things from their own lens.
Yeah, and then we're actually doing like they're like actually trying to survive, you know. Everybody is working here. So many people, like we are, if you are born in the US, you hit the fucking lottery, you know.
True. I always say like you know, a lot of people, like I know obviously we all know the US is not perfect, but no place is perfect. But when a lot of people, especially like people in our generation that have been like raised here their entire life and they complain and like they talk shit about the US, which yes, there are things that like we, you know, that need to be talked about, and there is like really shitty and terrible things happening here that need to change, but it's like it's a privilege actually. Like I feel like people forget that like it's a privilege that we do get to we do get a chance to fight for things like social justice, things like gay rights or things like that. Like in other places they're like struggling with like war and things like that, and it doesn't belittle our problems, but it's almost like I feel like people forget like it's actually a privilege that these are our problems in a sense, you know. It's just different. I mean, I'm not saying in every single case, but I'm just saying that like in general, because we're in a first world country and like usually people are too busy like other places are still like it's like overall like civil unrest, war, you know, like and poverty and things like that, and it's still happening here. But it's like you don't really like you don't see a lot of other countries struggling with the same things. I don't know
what I'm saying is we are, yes, like we're not facing the real problem, right? Like if you are in Cambodia, you will never in your life ever wonder like, oh, is it offensive if I ask somebody if they're gay? You know, like they just be like, why are you gay? You know,
and it is what it is.
Yeah, like if my grandma sees a black person, she will freak out because she's never seen a black person before. You know, and then they're like, why people go to China? Like even now, like you like a celebrity. If you feel white person, you're walking down the street, everybody like a kid, everybody will gonna take a picture, you know, with you.
Yeah.
You know, that's just like that's how the rest of the world is. You know, that's not in the first world. You know,
especially America, because like I mean we're built like at the end of the day, everyone's kind of come here. Everyone is some type of immigrant from some either different time periods, but like everybody ancestors all came from different places mostly, except for the Native Americans. But just in general, like everybody came from different places, so it's like there's so much like the melting pot diversity that it's like we have new problems though too. It's a new problem because like he said, like in China, like there's just like not like I guess is it the problem of like overall mass, like I guess racism against certain groups. I mean there is, I guess, like religiously.
Well, also a lot of racism.
There is, yeah, true. Actually, in China, because there's like people that look like it, because China's so big. Some people actually look like they have like black features, even though they're like Chinese, like in different parts.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's like it just like what the problem that we're facing here in America. If we continue, like it's just the problem with focusing on what's offensive or how we're gonna like pampering people, right? That's not gonna last long because the world is going to be very different in 10 years. And then if we like treating those problems as like the biggest problem, then we're gonna have a very tough time surviving in the world. You know,
Mm.
like I don't know if you noticed, but like there's a major war going on like in the world. You know,
Yeah.
and then like at any second there's going to be a meteorite hitting Earth, and then space is literally is so much uncertainty. You know, we don't know we don't fucking know what the fuck is under all the sea. You know, what's under the water, and then fucking pollutions.
Yeah.
Fucking, we're emitting so much
Climate change.
Yeah, climate change. All those are the real fucking problem that's facing with our humanity. But we're so caught up with our entertainment that like we just
Yeah.
ignore the actual issues. You know?
We it's interesting because it's like we're creating these smaller. We're like focusing on these smaller. It's almost human problems. Whenever like at the end of the day, it's like
But that's what happened during COVID. Is like when COVID hit, we realized how fragile our stability is. You know, like imagine like we're having abundance of fucking. You can just shit anywhere you want, and then now everywhere's out of toilet paper. You know, everybody go crazy with toilet paper instead of just fucking washing your ass with some water. You know, so like that's the problem we have here in America. Is like if we ran out of toilet paper, we'll have to get more. Isn't that fucking crazy? That's like the problem we have here. You know, so like what I'm saying is like we are focusing on the wrong thing, and then when shit hit the fans, and then we realize how fragile our society is. All this like this is illusion, right? We live in the world that we created here is based on materialistic instead of
Illusion.
actual skills to survive. So
damn, I let it suck me in. It sucked me in for a second there.
but I mean, you were right. You were right. Like trying to do business is like the trying
Well,
to
because it's like we're also it's hard because like at the end of the day though we also are living here and like we are like trying to make it within the illusion, like within this system. I was like talking to you about it today.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like
then we have to look at like what are we selling, right? Like, are we a big corporation?
no.
Are
Look
we?
at us. Do we look at big corporation?
Are we selling paper, toilet papers?
No.
You know.
No.
So what are you selling? What is you as a
Creator?
as a creator? What are you selling? You know.
I mean, I just like I feel like I'm just putting out what like my in terms of music I'm putting out just like what my heart feels. It's like not that complex, honestly.
So that's your expression, right?
Yeah, it's
And
just
then-
my expression of and like I guess kind of like the energy that I want to put out into the world that I want to share with the world. You know? What like I don't know. A lot of my songs are like about my own journey of just like either growing or like just my own emotions, and I feel like it's just a way for me to express, and I think like a lot of people
So that's your product,
yeah
right? You're selling that, and then the audience, okay, like the audience is receptible to your personality, right? Because you are selling your personality, you're selling yourself, essentially, right?
yeah
And then you think they're like, because this is a content that we're making, there's also a product, you know?
Yeah.
And then it's going to be a time when a stupid fuck like me gonna talk about some like, you know,
just stupid shit.
like that. Then what are you gonna do? Just shut off, you know? How do you
I
do?
almost did.
Yeah. Then how do you deal with that? Then that's the personality that you are going to sell. If you just shut off, then that's like, it's almost like.
But I
Game
guess
over,
I mean
right?
yeah I mean but I guess this is like part of the growth thing because I've always been in general I've always had trouble expressing my own opinions about stuff. I think that was just I've always had trouble expressing my own opinions about stuff just in general, like just like in day-to-day life sometimes, because I feel like my personality is pretty agreeable in general. So I don't know. I guess like I don't know.
What do you think? Is that a good thing? Or?
It's good in some ways, bad in some ways. I don't know. Everything has pros and cons, I guess. There's good in some ways because I am very. It's not even like I'm being fake because like I genuinely
Yeah, well,
like
yeah, this is you, you know.
yeah, like I genuinely like actually I think I'm just very open-minded and open-hearted in general. So like even like okay, to me those people in your class were so easy to cut you off because if anybody actually knows you, you're like literally one of the most open people and like you you just like are pretty much down for like anyone and everyone. But I'm just like it's just interesting because to me that was a bit close-minded of them.
That is a funny thing is that the people like on the liberal side, right? They like claim to be open, but then they're actually like if anybody disagree with their opinions, then they're like
Immediately canceled.
immediately just jump like fucking.
Because it's interesting. I could say agreeable. I mean, I could say agreeable, and then maybe that's just like makes me seem like a people pleaser. But I genuinely like actually like am curious because I always like. Even if people are like kind of talking fuck shit, or even some people are really quiet or whatever different demeanors, I'm always actually just very curious because I mean I do believe in like the goodness of people's hearts, like the natural inclination of like good, and I feel like I just like I feel like there's always more to it, you know. I mean there are some people that are just like assholes, but like in general, like I don't know.
Most people are good.
Most
people are good, yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, I guess, like, with you, I feel like sometimes I get perplexed when people, I don't know, if people, like, immediately are put off by you, but then I'm like, I guess sometimes from their lens, and especially, I can put myself in that, like, that lens, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I could see how he could put people off, but then I'm like, okay, why do I like love him so much? Why do I like see so much? But it's because I was open and like curious enough to actually like ask you questions and actually like get to understand you and like understand your intentions and understand like what you actually are about.
Yeah.
You know?
And then the other side of that was like you went over there a little bit. Was you were scared. You were scared of what my energy would bring, right? What would that? What would this? What would the things that I said? What makes you look, you know?
Yeah,
and
it was like a projection of the projection on me because I'm like, I mean, I'm loud, but I'm not. Obviously, our personalities are different, but it's just like, yeah, it's just interesting because in that moment, it wasn't even like I was worried about you because part of me like that's what I like about you. It's just interesting because like in that moment that I was just getting like kind of like uncomfortable and upset. I was like. But that's actually what I like about you and I admire about you is like that you're able to like you're just like you know. And so honestly in a way I feel like that was kind of like eye-opening thing for myself because I'm like I immediately got like insecure and uncomfortable because I was afraid of okay like how people are gonna see you how people are gonna see us and then how's it gonna be.
But then that I think you can't have that, right? Because like no matter what I say, that's on me. You can't like like you can basically shut me off. You know, if it's not good, then you can just shut me off, and it's like, hey, that's not okay. You know, to say. Then that will go off on there instead of like just shutting it off. You know, like that. Then they'll like, oh shit. Then both of us went down. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I just like. I feel like it's my defense mode. Even the other day, we were playing Mafia at game night with everybody, and I was the bad guy. I was the killer, and I was just like, and when people started coming at me, I just immediately was like,
yeah, dude, it was just very obvious.
It was so obvious because I don't know how to. I think I'm just like also. Because I've always had a just like easygoing personality and like I'm honestly like very just like open-hearted and like loving and agreeable and just like I like people like me is usually how it goes. Is like I don't really face people like coming at me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like only one time I actually have a significant event where like I like kind of got canceled and it was because I was expressing that I thought that this like person should get us maybe like a second chance when other people saw his past behavior as irredeemable,
Yeah.
and like basically want to cancel him. And in that group setting, I basically expressed that like I wasn't trying to tell them that they needed to accept him and uncancel him. Like at the end of the day, it's whatever people feel like is up to their own values. But for me, I had just expressed in that moment, like, at what point is someone like forgivable? At what point, like, because like obviously there are some things that I feel like are like feel unforgivable, but even then, like, I've seen people like this guy recently like murdered like 48 people, and then all the people from the family members were like basically shitting on him, telling him like go to hell, all this stuff in the courtroom. And then the one guy, a father of the daughter that got killed, actually went up there and was like, I forgive you. And then like that moment is what made the killer actually like break down and cry in court. Like
power of love,
Yeah, it's the power of love. And it's just interesting because like I feel like that's always the place I have been at, because at the end of the day we all are human, and like in varying degrees everyone has intrusive thoughts. Everyone has like the dark side, or like the that is part of being human. If we were perfect, we would be gods, right?
Yeah.
And part of me like frustrated me, it was like about the cancel culture, is like, I don't know, who are you to say, like, who are you to judge and to like to make a mass judgment on someone when you yourself are flawed? If that makes sense. So like that was always the part of me that like is frustrated, but then the part of me that is scared of being the one that's condemned is also like wants to be like kind of wants to fit into that system in a way, because I'm afraid that that's gonna happen to me. And I think in that situation I was just talking about, I basically felt like what it felt like to be kind of canceled. I wasn't even canceled, but like just in that moment, everyone like turned on me in the conversation to like, oh, you can't say like you can't say that, or like no, like he like he's done, like And I'm like, in my mind, it wasn't like I'm like, oh yeah, like let's be friends with him, but I'm like, it's been some time, and I feel like he could have changed, he could have grown, and I don't know, it's just interesting thoughts, because I really do believe in growth as well. Like, I have grown, I've seen a lot of people grow and like come back from dark places and fucked up things and have made up their lives.
That's even like, that's a good story, like I'd rather see somebody that made wrongs and then right their wrong than somebody just right the whole time. That
or like at least the illusion of right.
That's something that I learned recently, is being in the middle way, like being in the middle is mediocre.
It's basically that thing, it's like that saying like it's like inaction, it's like doing nothing. It's like doing nothing is worse than like failing, basically. It's
exactly, like
being in that middle zone.
In this world, is either you a hero or a villain, right? And then like what I love about that saying is basically is, if you are somebody that's gonna amount to something, you stick to what you believe, and then you let everybody know that this is what I'm going to do. Because the people that are scared of their opinions, scared of how they express themselves, guess what happens? Nothing gets done, because you're scared to say no, scared to say yes. And then there's power in saying no about something that you disagree, is that you are believing in something that you think you need to do. Like, I rather to talk to somebody that like completely disagree with my opinion than somebody
like yes
somebody just yes me, but like he doesn't actually think the same way, right? It's like and that's also more entertaining too, to be honest, like for entertaining sake.
Did you guys, are you entertained?
By the way, we're cutting all of this. We're not dropping this. Are we dropping this, or?
I don't know. This could be for the archives, just for our own sake, because this is kind of a good growth. This is kind of a good growth, conversation, because I definitely got triggered as fuck in that moment.
But dude, I think we like I mean, this is saying for myself too. We need to overcome that. Otherwise, like,
it's just like, cause the thing is like, things do. It's like I am sensitive to certain things. Like I personally don't. It like like physically hurts me when I hear people say the R word, and it's interesting because even though I think it's 'cause I've worked so closely to like just like the disabilities like community in that world, so I feel like personally sensitive because I like know, because I have known people and like those actual kids that I worked with, and they faced that, and like I feel a personal connection to it, so I felt like, so it does like offend me, but it's just interesting.
For those words that are offensive, I feel like there's a difference, right? Like,
because those were used were to like
if it's used to them, then that's obviously wrong. It's never funny if you call somebody like
a derogatory
because they actually have that condition, you know. But if I say like, oh, Michelle, you are a white person, in which you are not, you know.
Like,
so then like it's not really, I'm not calling you on like who you actually are, right? Or it's like, oh, Michelle, you're stupid, but you're not. You're very smart, you know. So that's a difference, I feel.
Yeah, it's just interesting
how you use it, right? And then at the same time is, I feel like it goes back to that again. Like, have you actually have a conversation with them about this topic? Do you actually think? Do you think they're offended about, you know, the other people use that words?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I have like, when I used to work at like like as like a camp counselor for like a special like basically disabilities camp, a special camp, and it was like I remember like there were like these kids that went up and talked and did a whole presentation about how like they didn't want people to use it. But then I've seen online also like other kids who had Down syndrome or other things who were like, you know, like, I'm not offended by this. So it's just who have gone up and said, I'm not offended by it. And there's like movements either way, because they're just like, I'm not defined by a word, you know, it's just like a word. But then other people, it's like a individual
thing, and then we're not in that community, and then we're generalizing it, right? It's like I don't know, like
some people say like oh, it takes away like the fact that you're saying that I'm offended by it, it almost takes away from like my power in a sense, because it's like, oh, it immediately places everybody in like that victim state. But
it's just my opinion. I don't know, I don't live that life, and I
don't know, I'm just like I'm just like sensitive, I guess, to, and I am a very like sensitive and empathetic person, so like I just hate the idea of like possibly hurting somebody's feelings. Like, I'm like, I just play it safe, because in general I don't want to hurt people's feelings. Like, maybe I don't feel a personal connection to it, or maybe I'm like, okay, I mean, it's just a word, I don't feel personal attacked by it, but I know like this could hurt somebody else, so I just like stray on the line of like not wanting to possibly hurt somebody, because I'm just like, for me, I'm like, there's just like other words I could use, like, I don't know, there's just like other ways I could express it, and I'm just like, if I know that this word could possibly hurt somebody, it's just like, I don't know, there's so many words in the English language, I probably can like just say a different word, and then like I don't have to worry about it. It's kind of how I feel. But
and then the other word will become like sensitive, you know. It's like I don't know, this is so strange. This only happens here, you know. It's like you call basically making a word that people made up a death sentence. It's like you put in a word, he's almost went up to a execution room, and then I go, okay, you are dead now, and then boom, he's gone.
It's true, because like it has like that has ruined people's lives.
Right? Crazy, huh? Like how a word can literally have so much impact in this culture.
But I guess it makes sense. Like in certain situations, like I do very deeply understand why the N-word is offensive.
Yeah, like
Because
never
that's-
using that ever again.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But like I remember in like when I was in middle school, my older brother was in high school. Like
Uh-huh.
he was saying it all the time, and like that was just like the regular lingo at that time.
Yeah.
You know.
True. If you play Call of Duty,
You know
just
what's
ever,
interesting?
you said the N-word.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just like how times have shifted.
Mm-hmm. Now we're holding people accountable for that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, part of me feels like it's right. Part of me, I honestly don't really have, like, I'm trying to think about my own actual opinion about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not, I don't even have, like, a strong opinion of, like, is this right or is this wrong?
Yeah, I don't know neither.
Because at the end of the day, like, it's more like I think I just respect it enough that it's been made like such a point. It's been made such an issue for like so many people that I'm like, that, and I know that it can possibly hurt and also bring back like, I don't know, just bad emotions that I just prefer. Like, I would rather just not.
Yeah, I
risk
know what to
hurting
deal with
somebody.
that fucking shit, you know?
Yeah, it's
Like-
almost like one is like, yeah, I don't want to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Two, like I feel empathetic towards those people because like at the end of the day, I don't want to hurt anybody. Like I don't feel like that's just like I've that's always been like I just always want to spread love like in general and spread good energy. And if me just using a specific language, which for me sacrificing. It's not even a sacrifice. Like I say, I don't really even like want to use those words if there's a chance that it's gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah.
That's just my own personal opinion, but I don't know if that because I don't even think it's like I'm scared. Me personally, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess I am a little scared to use them because I would be canceled, but it's mainly the whole like I just don't want to offend anybody because I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want.
Then what? No, okay, then let's just go back to that the same midget dwarf little people talk, right?
Yeah,
And
because
then
I thought little people was normal.
Dude, that's apparently it's not now. Like I don't know which one is actually offensive now.
Yeah, and then
You know,
it's so hard
that's
because
the
it's
issue.
constantly changing.
That's what I'm saying.
Over time. It's like, how do you know? How do you know? Like, and then it's like, part of me thinks like too, like, we're only all wrapped up in this bubble because we're all connected by the internet and stuff. Like, cause like, I bet you there are some motherfuckers out there who probably were talking like it was like in 2008, and then they never like got off social media and stuff, and they're just kind of living in their own world, probably surrounded by the similar people, and like they probably still talk the same, and then you could probably cancel them, but then it's like, how can you cancel someone who's just also like has chosen not to be immersed in your specific world? Does that make sense? Or your specific club or like society, because like, yeah, like I guess like, and then I guess that's what people that go off grid and stuff. Usually people think they're like weird and stuff, but it's like they're just not connected to like the overarching like cloud, like the looming, because it's almost kind of like a looming cloud over everybody, you know. And like if you're just out of that, then it's just like how are you supposed to know? Like, yeah, maybe at that time, maybe that person is saying this specific word, and now they're just like not in tune with like staying up to date with like what is like.
Dude, that's my grandma.
Politically correct or things like that, and it doesn't make them a bad person. It's just like that doesn't make them a bad person. They could still have respect for other people, but you know that they're not up to date, and it's just interesting.
Yep.
I mean, it's hard. I think. I mean, I definitely still use social media and stuff, and we're definitely plugged in. So, part of me felt like in that moment, that's why I was like, oh, I feel like I should know. Like earlier with the little people thing, part of me was like, I feel like I should know. You know, like I don't know.
Do you know? Like I don't know. Like I genuinely don't know. Yeah.
Because at one point, as when I was like more involved in that community, I just feel like, in the special needs community, I just feel like I remember like midget was not an appropriate thing to call somebody, but then I remember
dwarf was okay.
but then and then things have changed, and I genuinely don't know, and like I genuinely, like, it doesn't mean like I care less,
right?
I think that's what it is like, part of me feels like, you know me, I know you, and like I know like what you actually are about, you know what I'm actually about, but part of me feels like, oh, like these people or whoever's gonna watch like doesn't actually know me, and they're gonna maybe think this thing of me, or like they're not gonna get a chance, because right now we're talking through a camera. Part of me feels like, oh, they're not gonna be able to ask me questions and actually know what I'm about, so then I'm like, oh, like I'm gonna be judged on the surface level. I think that's what, like, that's like the hard thing. I know if anybody actually met me or you, I'm like, I know like off the bat people will be able to feel our energy, feel like and what we're about. But I think sometimes I get insecure, especially when it comes to like the platforms, or even like making TikToks. Like even when I was trying to make TikToks for my music, I'm like this is like 7 seconds short form video. I'm like, how am I supposed to like actually connect with people, like show people who I am and what I'm about, and like in the surface level thing? I guess that's kind of what the art of content creation is, but I'm like, it's just like part of me feels like we are being judged like on a surface level. And I guess the podcast is a nice thing because it's like gets to dive in a bit deeper.
They have an hour of material to listen to how we explain this.
I mean, you're definitely getting to know us.
If you're watching, then I can't cancel us for after an hour of how, like, that's the place that we came from, right? And then why am I operating like how am I operating? How are you operating? How you operating? You know, it's like putting into context.
Yeah,
you know,
it's just I think what I'm afraid of is really it's not even what we're putting out that I'm afraid of, but I think I just know how people like to receive things, and people love on the internet to take things out of context. That's like literally how tabloids, magazines, like all of those like things work, is because they are able to take things out of context and make new stories about them. Like whatever, like I remember like on TikTok all the Hailey Bieber, like Selena Gomez shit was, I don't know if you were following that, but like all the drama between them, but and like them people making full TikTok pages about like just like taking a picture. Like anyone could take a picture in a moment, and like you could interpret it so many ways. Like I take a picture of like a sad dog and a person standing next to it, and then like you could take a picture of it and then be like, oh yeah, this guy is a bad owner, and like look at his sad dog. Or you could twist it and be like, oh my god, this dog was like a stray on the street, and like he's helping his dog now, you know. And it's like sometimes I don't even know if I'm afraid of what we're putting out, but I'm more afraid because how people like to just like surface level examine stuff. People don't go deeper. People aren't curious on the internet anymore. People just love to take things at surface level, like our surface level entertain, like 10-second video, like I'm entertained, this is the information I'm taking in. And people like these days on the internet don't like to like dive deeper a lot of the times. Not everybody, but a lot of people don't like to dive deeper or ask questions, or like, okay, is this like actually true? If someone took that little section of our video from the beginning, didn't listen to the rest of this podcast, they could easily spin some type of story. And I think I'm afraid of that because I just know in general, especially like with these short form media, like, people are not trying to dig for more. They just like are content with the surface level.
But the thing is that if you are scared to being exploited by like basically rumors,
I'm afraid of the haters.
The haters, because no matter what you do, you are going to get it. You know, especially if we like successfully doing it, that's no matter what you do, some people are gonna hate it. And then if that's what you're scared of, we might as well just stop doing this completely. You know, like just completely shut off. Don't make anything ever, because if you want everybody to love you, who loves somebody loves everybody? A fucking idiot. Okay, you know, like if you broke,
clowns.
Everybody like it, because you know why? Because you're not offending anybody. Everybody knows this guy's not serious. You're not threatening, But as long as you make a little bit of something, then people are going to make something. Like people's gonna hate you for it, right?
Yeah. True.
So,
I mean.
yeah, I would encourage you not to be scared of your opinion and how to express it, especially if we are going to continue this.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, especially too with my own personal endeavors with music. I mean, that's like its own thing. Whether people judging my music or like as we come up or if we like as the journey continues, like there's definitely gonna be haters, and I think I'm just not used to it yet. So it's like,
well, this is a practice, right? That's why we're doing this. Because like if we just talked about that in like just privately, then it'll be so easy, right? But like the scary thing and then the things that we are encouraged to do is to face those fears. My opinions are my own. Don't be holding your accountabilities to me, right? If you disagree with me, disagree with me, But if we be in the middle, then that's like you just stuck in fears, right?
Yeah.
And then, and your personality is your personality, and then I'm here selling my personality. You here and selling your personalities, right?
I think it's just, No, you're right. I guess it's also a process of like this is also helping me process and develop more of like what my own opinions about things are too, because usually people are strong about their opinions when they
Did you have this whole episode as you had a pretty strong opinion and you expressed it? That's
True.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You talked. I don't know how long you talked, but the whole piece was your opinion.
Yeah.
You live with that.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, and I think I'm just like, in a way, I guess even my outburst was an opinion. My shutdown was an opinion, but it was it was not communicated.
Opinion.
Not a communicated opinion, but even me rejecting it and me wanting to shut down and stop the video was itself an opinion.
Yeah. So we just need to be confident, where we stand,
I'm working on that. It's definitely still, I guess this episode worked. I guess we grew a little bit. Alright, it was a success. I mean, it definitely pushed me. It definitely challenged me emotionally and like mentally. But
I think we're like 2 hours in, bro.
Are we?
Yeah, dude.
I guess this was a pretty long one. Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll probably cut some stuff out. But anyways, I don't know if we're going to drop this. If we do drop this, then thanks for listening if you listened this far. But yeah, I guess here's to expressing your opinions, being firm in who you are, and
what you believe in,
and just keep moving forward.
Yeah. Follow us on Instagram.
Mid22.
Check out her music, Sparkling Light Drive.
Yeah, it's my new band, Sparkling Light Drive.
We'll have a show next
July 26th is going to be our debut performance for anybody that's based in Texas. Come through. It's going to be at Mohawk Lounge. But yeah, I'm excited for the future. Excited to keep growing. Developing as a person and developing our business as well.
Peace.